Okay, so after you locate that point, and then you can connect the dots. And go back to here. Okay, so that's not too bad. Now, the part that's tough is forthcoming though. So we have to work on the hole. Okay. Now there are several different ways to do this, and the one that I like the best is probably drawing a square around the hole and then drawing the ellipse, kind of like we did with the cabinet projection. So this is going to be a little awkward at first, but we're going to draw a square basically around where the hole will be. Alright, so what we need to measure is actually the distance from the edges, and I think this is going to be the same all the way around. That's about a half, yeah. So we want to measure 1 on our unit, on our scale. Oh, we need to do it along the axis though. That's important. And so if you don't see what I'm doing, you will in just a minute. Okay. Alright, probably the one tough thing is going to be to find the bottom of the circle. So let me measure that. That is 1, 2, 3. So it'll be 6 on ours, on our scale. So we'll measure down 6. Well, I put the circle in about the right place. I mean the edge of the square. I mean, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so what I've done is I found 4 points, and that's going to be the edges of our square. Okay, so I do have to lightly do it this time, but I'm going to lightly draw a line from point to point. I'm about to do a little darker than that though. Okay. Okay. And same thing here. Alright. So let me actually find the center of our circle as well. So it's 3.75. Is that what? Yeah, 3.75 and then 3.75, I believe is what it was. 1, 2. And I guess one thing I could have done was just to check. It should be about right there. Okay, so that's the center of our circle. Now, don't even worry about our scale right now. What I want to try to do is find 7/10 of the distance from here to here. Okay, and you can really just eyeball that. Okay, so 70% of the distance from here to here is about right there. Do the same thing for this corner. 70% of the distance between here and here is about right there. Same thing here. And same thing here. Now what this is, 70%, it's actually 0.7071, or the square root of 2 over 2. It's actually a mathematical property. But these are the edges of our circle in isometric, okay? And I'm going to mark the midpoints between these lines, just approximate. Do the same thing here. So now I have 8 points, okay? Now this is tough, okay? So it's take your time, do the best you can, but don't use a template or anything. connect the points. And it's really hard to draw this. I'll be the first to tell you. And if you draw it lightly, and then go back and darken it, you'll have a better shot. But you can tell mine's pretty bad. Okay, so I'm going to go back and just try to make it more. I got a little flat in places and a little pointy right there. So I'm going to just make it look the best I can. That is really pretty bad. But you want to try to make your arcs where they'll go tangent to the square that you drew. And of course the better job that you do with your points, placing your points, also the better final product you'll have as well. One thing you don't want to do is have a lot of like scribbles. Okay, it's not like an artistic type sketch. You want one continuous line, and just do the best you can. And once you've done that, you can erase the square. Okay, and that should be drawn very lightly. Okay, now one thing that we haven't done, and this is another thing we're going to do a little bit of cheating on, is you'll notice in this one that there's a depth of that top base that we need to be concerned about, and it's the depth of this from here to here, which is going to be 1 on our measured scale or 2 on our doubled scale. So what we're going to do, we're going to stay along this axis, okay, and we're going to just mark off 2 units at a couple of places. So, and we'll let the end point be on the isometric circle that we already drew. So you need to keep your angle lined up, keep this point on the circle, and then draw a point at 2. And we'll do the same thing here. Okay, so we did that in several places, and I just need to connect those points now. So this might be easier if I turn my paper over. Okay, so again, that's not perfect, but that's not too bad, and that's approximately what your isometric sketch should look like when it's complete. And that concludes this video.